Brooklyn, New York. A tragic and horrific event unfolded on a quiet evening when a mother and her three young children were struck by a reckless driver who ran a red light at high speed. The driver, a social media influencer known for selling custom wigs on TikTok, is now facing multiple felony charges, including manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. The victims, Natasha Sada, 32, and her three children, Diana, Deborah, and Liam, were simply crossing the street at a designated crosswalk when a blue Audi A4 came barreling through the intersection. The vehicle first collided with a Toyota Camry before careening out of control and slamming into the young family. The devastating impact killed Natasha, her 7-year-old daughter Diana, and her 5-year-old daughter Deborah. Her 4-year-old son, Liam, was left in critical condition, rushed to the hospital as doctors fought to save his life. The driver was identified as Miriam Yimi, a 29-year-old influencer with over 150,000 followers on TikTok, known for her flashy lifestyle and custom wig business. Yimi frequently posted videos of herself driving luxury vehicles, sometimes joking about speeding and dodging police stops. But her driving history was no joke. A closer look at public records revealed a disturbing pattern of traffic violations. Between 2020 and 2024, Yimi's vehicle accumulated nearly 100 citations, including red light violations, excessive speeding, and reckless endangerment. At least 12 of these tickets were for speeding in school zones. Despite this history, she never lost her license. New York's traffic enforcement system allowed her to continue driving, a failure that would later prove to be deadly. Witnesses described the crash as one of the most horrifying accidents they had ever seen. Surveillance footage captured the precise moment when Yimi's vehicle ran the red light at a speed estimated to be over 80 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. One bystander, James Martinez, was waiting at a nearby bus stop when the accident happened. I heard this loud screech, and before I could even turn my head, there was this massive crash. The car just didn't stop. It hit the family so fast, like they didn't even have a second to react. Emergency responders arrived within minutes, but the damage was already done. Natasha Sada and her daughters were pronounced dead at the scene. Little Liam, the only surviving child, was rushed to a trauma center where he underwent multiple emergency surgeries. Miriam Yimi, the driver, remained at the scene but was acting erratically. Police reported that she was speaking incoherently, claiming that she was being chased by the CIA and that her car had been hacked. Officers determined she was in no state to be questioned, and she was transported to Bellevue Hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. The Brooklyn District Attorney's Office moved swiftly, charging Miriam Yimi with the following offenses: 3 counts of second-degree manslaughter, 3 counts of criminally negligent homicide, 4 counts of second-degree assault, 1 count of reckless driving, and 2 counts of failure to yield to pedestrians. Legal experts say that prosecutors will argue that Yimi's long history of reckless driving and conscious disregard for traffic laws demonstrate a clear pattern of negligence, making her fully responsible for the deaths of Natasha and her daughters. If convicted of second-degree manslaughter, Yimi could face up to 15 years in prison for each count, meaning she could be looking at a total sentence of 45 years. However, defense attorneys may attempt to argue that her alleged mental state at the time of the crash could mitigate her responsibility, potentially leading to a reduced sentence or a plea deal. In the wake of the tragedy, the victim's family and community members have called for stricter enforcement of traffic laws, especially against repeat offenders. A candlelight vigil was held near the crash site, where dozens gathered to mourn the loss of Natasha and her daughters. Her sister, Rebecca Sada, tearfully addressed the crowd, saying, "My sister was a loving mother who did everything for her children. This never should have happened. The system failed her. It failed all of us." As the case moves forward, prosecutors are expected to push for the maximum sentence, arguing that Yimi's actions were not just a tragic mistake, but a preventable crime that took the lives of 3 innocent people. The trial is set to begin in the coming months, with the community watching closely, hoping for justice for Natasha, Diana, and Deborah.